Ragnarok is an interesting word. In Marvel it's the title of the third film, and they take it to mean the end of Asgard. It's one of the better known words in Viking mythology, but I'm not sure everyone knows what it actually means. So, for starters, what is Ragnarok? Ragnar comes from Regin, and means the powerful, the gods, whereas Rok means fate, destiny, judgment. So Ragnarok means the fate of the gods. Snorri Sturluson, in his prose Edda, used the word Ragnarok, where Rok means darkness. This is why Wagner chose to call his opera The Twilight of the Gods. Wagner shows a poetic way to rewrite Snorri, who was himself finding a poetic way to rewrite the original word. So as you can see, Ragnarok has travelled quite a bit. What starts off Ragnarok? In the film, the death of Odin is what frees Hela from her prison and starts up all the trouble. In the myths, Odin doesn't die before Ragnarok, as he'll be killed during the great battle at the end. But, interestingly enough, it is a death that sets off the end of the world. The death of Balder. He is the most beautiful and pure of the gods, and when he dies, Ragnarok becomes impossible to avoid. In the films, it's Loki's fault Odin is weak, because he exiled him on Earth. No surprises, it's also Loki's fault in the myths that Balder dies. A good bet is that it's always Loki's fault. So what happens at Ragnarok? First of all, winter is coming doesn't spring from nowhere. Ragnarok starts with 3 hard winters, then 3 years of unending winter. The 2 wolves that follow the sun and the moon, Skoll and Hati, both catch up with them and swallow them, plunging the world into darkness. This is when stuff becomes serious. Fjalar, a fair red cockerel, calls out, followed by Gullinkambi, and then the rusted red cockerel at the gates of hell cries out. As if it wasn't dark and cold enough, a great earthquake adds to the fun. Cliffs tremble and break to pieces, Yggdrasil quakes, all ties come undone. This seems to cover both physical ties, as the ones holding Fenrir and Loki down, as metaphorical ties, family links, friendships and alliances. In the midst of this chaos, people walk the long way to Helheim. Now this is an important point. Although Hel rules over the realm of death, she has no active part in Ragnarok. I mean, I'm sure she doesn't mind all these dead people coming and filling her hall, but she doesn't kill anyone herself. She just hoards them. The whole point of her having her own realm is so she isn't tempted to steal anyone else's. So Hel the conqueror and killer that Marvel portrays doesn't really work. She never frees or resurrects Fenrir either. But she does have a giant dog called Garmr though, and at Ragnarok it breaks free from its ties. Instead of guarding Helheim like it's supposed to, it roams the world attacking and eating people. Talking about Fenrir, now that he's free, Fenrir places his bottom jaw on the ground and the top one on the sky and devours everything in between. Just for a bit of extra fun, there's fire flaring out of his eyes and nostrils. Jormungandr, the world serpent, rises out from the sea, and as he isn't holding the waters in place anymore, there's a great flood. The snake spurts poison over the world as it rises, because otherwise we wouldn't be in enough trouble. Loki is at the helm of a ship made out of the nails of the dead, Naglfar, with a great number of Jotuns, specifically the frost Jotuns and the giant Hirm. Then the sky breaks open, and through the rainbow bridge Bifrost come riding the sons of Muspelheim, the fire giants. Surtr is at their head, with a fire sword that shines more than the sun, and as he steps on the Bifrost, the bridge shatters. This is the moment Heimdall chooses to blow his horn, although I suppose people noticed everything wasn't quite right before that. The gods assemble to fight the giants, with the help of the warriors Odin has been collecting in the Valhall specifically for this purpose. Then, basically, everyone kills each other. Odin fights and is killed by Fenrir. One of his sons, Vidar, sticks his shoe in Fenrir's mouth. The shoe is made from the leftover leather of all the shoes in the world, so it's very thick. It's thick enough that Fenrir can't bite through it, which allows Vidar to tear off Fenrir's head with his bare hands. Morality of this story, all you need in life is a good pair of shoes. Tyr kills Hel's dog Garmr, but dies from his wounds. It seems a bit insulting that the god of justice only gets to fight off a dog, but it is a magical dog of death which has gobbled up most of the surviving humans, so don't underestimate it. Loki will fight Heimdall, and they'll kill each other. It seems there is a myth we might be missing, which explains the Loki-Heimdall relationship and why they hate each other so much. Thor kills Jormungandr, the world snake, but the snake's poison gets into his blood. He takes 9 steps away from his foe, before dying. Surtr is the big destroyer of worlds in Marvel, as he also is in the original myths, but neither Thor nor Odin get to fight him. His foe is Frey. Frey hasn't got his sword anymore. That's another interesting myth I'll have to delve into later. In short, he traded his sword for a cute girl. He bravely fights against Surtr with the first thing he could lay his hands on, which turns out to be a stag's antler. One feels he could have at least prepared for Ragnarok a bit and brought a new sword, But who cares, the Stag's Antler is pretty cool to fight with, so I forgive him. Surtr kills Frey, and then burns the world until the stars fall out of the sky, thus destroying everything that's left of the 9 worlds. I guess Marvel got that one right, although of course all 9 worlds should be gone, Earth included. There are a few things that happen after Ragnarok, but as there's some debates between scholars whether this is authentic or a Christian reinterpretation, and considering this mini-episode is long enough, I'll stop here. Just to say that having a few surviving humans and Aesir escaping Ragnarok, as it happens in the film, is logical, although of course Thor and Loki don't make it. Everyone we know is dead. That seems as good a way to end as any. I hope you enjoyed this slaughtering of every main character. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, or any specific story or myth you'd like me to cover, please feel free to comment. Cheers!